leg loops as hand holds without the swing. Okay, so this gets really fun. There's a lot of different ways in order for us to do this. Okay, so we're going to start out, and it's okay to use the swing like around the torso, either underneath the boobs, or like not so much on the belly like pressure, but just as a little bit of support. But otherwise what we're going to do is just lean forward. So we lean forward, and then you'll notice these are strong push-ups, right? So my feet are a little further back. I'm going to just lean into it. Okay? So this lean forward, whenever I lean forward, I call it government patty, right? When our hips come forward. So that's really strong. So if we want to make it a little bit easier, go ahead and put them on the shoulders and lean forward. And then kind of go ahead and just lean back. So I usually like to keep my hands close to the ground. Obviously, if you bring them up, they're going to slide off. So sometimes squeezing the hands together is a nice way to get people to remember that let's all lean forward together. Let's all lean back together. Lean forward. Inhale, open. Exhale back. Inhale, open. Exhale back. Really good. So we're going to add a leg here. I call it just like marching. So go ahead and pull the knee up. And then go ahead and bring it down. Knee up. Bring it down. My hands are kind of on a diagonal. So this is kind of nice for activating the core. Right? Nice, marching. And then from here, go ahead and tuck in. So go ahead and exhale, tuck. Inhale, expand. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, expand. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, expand. Exhale. Inhale. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into like a warrior three, but on government patty.
I'll move on the other one.
There you go. Okay. So we're going to practice tucking in and then expanding. Just do one side. Tuck in, expand. We do left. Yes, thank you. Tuck in. Expand the sky and try the other side. Tuck in. Expand. These ones are harder, right? Tuck in. Expand. So check out your crew. Maybe this is enough where they just kind of march. And then a little bit harder is expanding and then pulling in, and then all the way out. So I just like to play with it a little bit, you know? See if you can just find a little balance, and then let's go ahead and take a break. So is anybody feeling their arms falling asleep? Yes. Go ahead and come into forward fold, elbow crease. Forward fold, elbow creases. It's a nice kind of neutralizing pose. And so we're still tracing the shape of the mat like we did before. We're just not using the swingers and the leg loops this time. There's more play. Okie dokie. So let's get them back on the shoulders and practice twisting. So just really gentle. I have my feet a little bit wider this time. Wider stance. Hips roll over the shoulders. And then we go ahead and slide back in. Let's straighten the arms. So we're going to come into a wide straddle here. And then go ahead and just twist a little from side to side. So I'm doing a wrist wrap. Really easy. So remember we did this before too. We can move to fingertips. We're going to inhale and lift. Move to fingertips. It's a little bit easier to use fingers then. So exhale, slide in. Inhale, lift. You can stretch the chest here, which is really nice. Exhale, dive in. Inhale, lift. So number 11 is like number 1. There's so many different variations. I want you to just play with it. What would happen if we twist here? This feels kind of good, yeah? Sway in the space at your own rate. Try to keep the toes pointed forward. It's going to be hard when you do the twist. I have more of a wide straddle stance. If you want to, it's okay. You can do it either way. I just want to give you the options. So go ahead and everyone twist to the left and just hold it here. So really feel the side body stretch. Yeah. See what happens with the neck. Just roll the neck around. Let it feel good. Exhale, move through center. I'll twist to right. Open it up, yeah. Big stretch. It's almost like if we turn the toes out, we can come into a triangle pose, right? So many different standing poses variations from here. I do like a gazillion different ones. I'm going to make it simple for you guys, but I want you to also feel like you can play with it. See if you can come back. Open it up. Twist first, keep your toes pointing forward. And then from there, see if you, right hand stays up. Left hand can come down. Beautiful transition. Okay? So there's different ways to play. I want you to really make up your own practice or play with that for a while. Okay, so now we come into clearance. So go ahead back to the wrist wrap. I like the wrist wrap better. So what we're going to do, sorry, my hair was tickling my nose. Okay, so what we're going to do is lean forward onto your tippy toes so your head's going to come really close to the ground. Pulling up strongly. Go ahead and rock back onto your heels. And then go ahead and rock onto your tippy toes. Okay. Does anybody need to rock forward? Okay, so you guys come up for a second. So everyone else looks pretty okay. I want Carter to bring your leg loops up one. Okay, yeah, I feel that. Thank you. So that's why I rock you forward. And that's what I want you to do is rock forward and back and just look at your peeps. See if there's anybody who is too close to the ground, which means if they have to tuck their chin into their chest to do this, but if they're flopping, that means if their head's already touching the ground, they're not going to have enough room to clearance. So, even though I'm in a wide straddle, when I tuck, my feet are going to come together. Okay? Oh. So everyone just try that, and then I want you to land it back onto your feet. And then come back out to the wide straddle. So clearance, right? It's like a plow.
So you repeat it again, did you jump off? I didn't see.
No, I didn't jump off, so I just kind of lift up onto my toes.
I got you there.
So I'm going to slow my roll, because otherwise I'm going to run right into that thing again. So I just kind of lean forward and lift my feet.
Okay.
So it's a plow pose. So that's clearance. So from clearance, we're going to come all the way over to a seated position.
Like that, okay. I couldn't see it.
So everyone meet me here. Good. Land it. Yeah. Yeah, just tuck the chin into the chest. It's really fun. Okay, so when we lean back, remember we did before the little exercises like this on the ground?
Yeah.
So you can do all the core, strengthening and boat pose, things like that. So then when we're going to do the flip over, we have to pull our hips forward, reverse. So I have to kick up. So you have to kick up and over. You have to kind of like pull and kick.
Well, then you know the exact time.
So see if you can get it. You got to scoot your bum forward to kick up and over. Yep, lean back. See if you can do it. It's a little ump. You can do one leg at a time instead of two. The two legs are hard. Just lean back. Bring your bum forward. So just keep leaning back. Leaning back. So it's getting the hips over the head. It's that changing planes. Yeah, you can do it one leg at a time if both legs is hard. But yeah, you'll find people get stuck consistently in these little spots. And we want to learn how to do it on the ground, so then when we go to do it in the air, we get the movement down, right? Okay, so from here, when we did our restorative poses, so we're going to land it. Back. Come back around. So you can cheat a little too if anybody needs to cheat. Kick up. Okay. Okay? Land it here, and then we're in our child's pose, right? My knee is not wanting to bend, so I'm going to do the little rabbit version. Then we can come up through a camel. We're reviewing our restorative, right? So that's why I said I usually teach clearance there. So from here, I would tuck under, over, and that's how we land it. We're just trying clearance a couple times. So try getting the kick. So you just have to keep bringing your hips forward, roll over, have room for your head. Try it a couple times. Play in the space. Just tuck your chin into your chest. You got it. There you go. See if it's easier with time.
Is it okay to bend the knees or do I have to stay straight?
Well, you know, bending the knees, like any pose, makes it a little easier. Straight legs would be harder, but of course, yeah. Or just use the swing. It's okay to use the swing and come through like a shoulder stand. Remember, we practiced that too. So it's easier to do one leg at a time than both legs at a time. All of these variations is 100% okay. Because we can use this guy up here to help us kick as well. It's all okay, as long as we're having fun. We're not like trying to do a performance where we're just trying to get ourselves over. Yeah, so I really love using, and then these we practiced last time with bending out to the side, coming around, coming through, being really gentle with the shoulders when we come through. This is a really big up dog. So lean back. Yeah, use your handle, because your leg loops are a little high, so you didn't need to bring your handles up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if they're up higher, it's harder. You just have to get more oomph. Yeah, so it's good to use the fingers instead of the wrist there. Okay. Beautiful. You bring your shoulders over. There if you want. Good. So yes, so wide straddle, twist, lean forward, one leg raises. Lots of different ways to play. Just utilizing the leg loops in the hands. And then we can go into the whole restorative sequence from there too. Okay, we're going to do acrobatics in the advance. So normally we would go into some acrobatics here with the leg loops. We're going to skip it. Pose 11, so let's go into our cocoon. Unless anybody has any questions about those. You can see we can do a million different things. I do a lot of the stuff with the elbow creases to open the shoulders. This is amazing too. So if we were on our knees, we could do like the whole sequence. Very similar.
Do you do like skin to cats where you just go back and forth without touching down? But I thought you'd have to be higher up to do that.
Yeah, I don't do aerial, so I don't know what skin to cat is, but I imagine what it would be like. But yeah, if you brought it up higher, you could do that without touching.
You could probably use like hand holds and do it.
We do it when we do the hand holds.
Yeah.
I don't skin cats in general. I don't eat horses that are alive ones. I don't kill birds with stones. None of those things.
Yeah, don't tell if you're doing that. Everybody thinks I'm a vegan chef.
I guess.
Don't skin cats.
So one other thing that we can do here, which is really fun, is do soar. So soar is when we use, we did this a little with the restorative. So we can use the knees or the ankles and arch and open. So you can try that from clearance, right? Just kick up and hook. So many different things. Go ahead and try it.
Can you practice through that?
Okay.
Yeah. So from here.
Clearance except for we hook that legs.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and do it from our knees. If we want to do it the easier way. Wrist wrap is okay. Either one is okay. So we're going to kick up. So it's like we're in a down dog. Put our legs or our arms up overhead. So we're in a V shape. And then we lean forward. So we tuck our chin in, and then our hips go over our head. We balance. And then when you kick your legs up in the air, you're going to arch and open. Low sliding last time.
How do you keep the hands from coming out of the
Wrist wraps?
Yeah.
Yeah, you arch and open. Soar. Feels really good.
And the wrist wrap is the X.
Oh no. So just go ahead, hold on with the leg loop around the wrists. Palms up around the wrists. So you're holding on it with your hands.
Around this.
Yeah. And then lean into it. Lean back so it gets tight. Yeah. Feels a little better. So lean back. Get your hips over your head. So come into clearance. There you go. Now kick your legs up. Yeah, good. Now arch it open. Yeah, beautiful. So head's not on the ground.
On my strap, I actually like point my finger through, like grab it, like for some reason it's easier for me.
Yeah, some people, if you have smaller hands, it'll feel really thick.
Yeah.
You can do, the only thing about doing like a lock, so if you do like a lock, is that your wrist is kind of like going to get torqued. So I don't usually do the locks there. If we were hanging straight down, it's one thing, but if we actually do a spin, sometimes like with the ankles and wrists, we don't actually want to lock them in like that. Sometimes it feels good, sometimes it doesn't. Okay guys, so usually what I like to do here is just kind of play with the leg loops in the hands and let you guys make some things up. Let's go over the cocoon, and then the time that we have remaining, we'll go over some new sequences or have you guys pair up and experiment to do that kind of thing. But let's actually, it's so nice to review cocoon.
My pleasure.
I love to review cocoon.
I know. I am a cocoon. Yes, I love cocooning. So let's go ahead and grab the front end. Get a handful. The reason why we get a handful, it's really important. So if you just grab the front end and put it under your butt, then you can't spread it down to your knees. So just do it the wrong way, quote unquote, first, and then notice how you have to really get a handful. So most people will not grab a handful. And then try it again. Just gather it up in your fingers, and then when you sit down, you can spread it out. This feels wrong. Stupid. That's better. It's so nice to have so much space, yeah? Then the other thing is we stretch it so it's behind the head. Okay? So from here, we keep the knees bent, but we bring the feet up. So you can just hold on to the sides. Once the feet come up, the knees stay bent, you just lift your hips and spread it out slightly. See if you can get that motion down. And then the feet come together, knees come open wide, and this is called butterfly wings. So arms can be over the chest. Make sure your head's in there, right? So arms are over the chest. The fingertips can trace the tops of the trapezius, tops of the shoulders. And this is a great metamorphosis pose, so the caterpillar to butterfly. So we have our butterfly wings with the legs, and then we have the arms pressed over the chest. So from here we go into burrito, which is the legs up the sides of the swing. So the legs are not together, they're out in a V shape, just so the heels can catch. So sometimes people's feet will slide out here. You just want to get them to wiggle them in, nestle them in there. And then I like to match the arms, so I'm going to bend my elbows, open up the shoulders, let the fingertips dangle towards the floor over the head. Knees are soft. Legs are straight, but the knees are soft, right? Drop the hips. Push the feet down. You can push the hips down towards the ground. Toes pointing towards the sky. So good, huh? So any last bits of stagnation are going to start to drain out of the legs. This is really, really good. I've been doing this quite a bit for my knee. For any sort of like swelling injury, the legs up the sides swing feel really, really good. Especially for sore, tired feet, pregnant women. Helps them take pressure. The lower extremities. And then from there, we're just going to move into, so this is the sequence. So butterfly wings, viparita, happy baby. Okay, just kind of repeat that. Your own inner dialogue. Okay, so happy baby, what would that look like? Knees bend deeper into the armpits so we can grab the outer edges of the feet. And we pull down, but we pull down just gently. Back is going to take on the shape of the swing, so we're kind of rounding here. It feels good to gently tuck the chin into the chest. Just notice that we keep space in the back of the neck. And then in this position, it's always fun for me to straighten one leg and then the other leg, it kind of pulls back and forth a little bit. allows me to go deeper into the pose. You can also just bring the feet together and the knees are open wide. However your baby gets happy. Let's explore that in the swing. So we end every class, every workshop in the Shavasana. Sometimes in a class it would only be 10 or 15 minutes. In a workshop we try to spread it out and make it 20 to 30 minutes so people can really drop in. Give them a nice long experience. And you can spend 5 or 10 minutes of that time with the leg stretches. Really mixing it up. Okay, so from here, I like to just keep holding onto your feet. Just squeeze the legs together, knees together, straight legs, and then pull the feet down over the head for a mini plow. So we're not going to lift the hips up towards the sky, but we are rolling onto the back, the upper back, and getting a nice hamstring stretch. Make sure the head is in the swing, particularly for this one. I can feel like we're going to go out the other end, right? So we don't lift the hips too much. Beautiful, guys. And then you can release the feet, bend the knees. So you can wrap your arms around the shins now for reclined child and give yourself a little hug here. So just hug in gently. So we're harnessing the energy in the core. Just breathe into the navel with the intelligence of the heart and the belly start to sync up. So you're bowing in towards the heart. So then head and belly and heart are all syncing up and creating a tree. Beautiful. Now from here, I usually have people choose their favorite position. They can go back to butterfly wings. They can stay rolled up in a little ball and hugging the self. So for final relaxation, we have Shavasana in butterfly wings with the legs. So bottoms of the feet together, knees open wide. Just follow along. We're going to review them real quick. You can have Viparita, legs up the wall, legs up the swing. You can have Happy Baby, where you're just holding onto the feet. So even if they were in Shavasana, they could just bend the knees and they could let the arms rest overhead. And the legs just kind of hang. So either straight legs or bent knees there. And then as we've been practicing, they can also do the straight legs with the stirrups. So let's go ahead and get the leg loops involved. So go ahead and what I do is I take my hand on the outer edge of the swing and I just hit the leg loop and I hit it in front of me and then it'll come in the swing. You can catch it. So I just take my hand and I hit it forward and then it comes inside. So that's, there's many ways, but I found that that's like a nice way to use the momentum to get the swing in. And so then I cover from the arch of the foot all the way, all the way to the top of the calf, and the legs can be straight. And for some people, that would be most comfortable. Even with straight legs, the knees are soft, right? There's a slight bend there instead of locking out. And then just see if you can do a tiny little swag. So when the legs are straight, we can call it windshield wiper. So pushing one foot down and the other foot down, and gently rocks us from side to side. Exhale and soften the belly. So let the navel tuck in towards the core and let the heart soften. See if you can just get a little bit more spaciousness for the back of the neck so the neck is happy. Where do your shoulders want to be? Make sure that you have room for your shoulders. I often choose to bring my arms up over my head. By crossing your arms over your chest or just letting your hands rest on your lap, you can kind of roll your shoulders back behind you and then let your arms be straight out in front of you. So arms and legs kind of match that way in this pose, but it's a bit of a squeeze on the shoulders, so see which one feels best for today. Let's all just drop in and absorb the goodness from our practice. Today was so much fun. a lot more free flow, a lot more playtime, a lot more exploration. You definitely got into some challenging poses, but y'all did such a great job. Really finding the engagement in the core and the alignment and the strength and the balance. Just take some time to absorb all that. I teach the Shavasana in this very specific order, but you can of course find your own rhythm with it. I'm pretty consistent in following exactly the steps that we've taken. I find it's a really nice sequence for people. We're not going to stay for as long as I normally like in the Shavasana. We're going to just take 5 more breaths. So long, deep, luxurious inhalations. Slow releasing. Bringing out and letting go in the exhalation. Notice how receptive the body is now after a few days of practicing together. Notice how it's willing to receive and absorb. Notice how it's willing to be held and cradled. Notice how much nourishment you're getting from the swing. One more deep breath here. We're going to do some of the leg variations, which is how I start to awaken the body. You can also do these leg variations before coming into Shavasana, if you like. It's nice to just leave the legs as they are and stretch the arms straight overhead. Create a little bit more space, wiggling the fingertips to the toes, maybe shifting the hips a little from side to side, lengthen through the whole torso. Open up through the rib cage and drink the breath to the collarbones. And exhale, roll the energy down the back, rinsing and washing away through the whole line of the spine. And then we're going to allow the leg loops to come off. So we're going to reach the right leg up towards the sky. And you can just release that leg loop. And we're going to come into a twist. So we bring the right foot over to the left side of the swing. The left hand is going to hold the outer edge of the foot. So recline twist. The right arm is relaxed, or the right arm can be massaging down the back of the hamstring into the IT band. And if we want to assist in opening up the back of the leg. So from there we're going to inhale and reach the foot up towards the sky. And then exhale, both feet are going to hold on to, both hands hold on to the foot, and then we pull gently overhead. So we're scissoring the legs away from one another. Maybe the hips slightly engage and push up towards the sky to go deeper. But we're doing the nice and slow and gentle version. And then we're going to go ahead and release that leg out. So release the right. Inhale, lift the left. You can start to let go of the leg loop and then come into a gentle twist. So in the twist, we can hook the ankle on the outside of the swing. So the left leg goes towards the right, and then the right hand is holding on onto the outer edge. So a little bit deeper on the side without the leg loop. Sometimes I'll wag the tail here. That feels good. Just see if you can help the back of the hamstring and IT band open up. The left hand can massage a little bit. Feel up for it. And then we're going to inhale that left foot towards the sky. Both hands hold on to the bottom. And then we inhale, lengthen out through the back of the leg. Exhale, you can start to pull a little bit further over the head, scissoring the legs. Both legs straight if you like. So we're getting that making a wish foundation, moving away from one another. Release the foot, left leg and right leg find one another, squeezing together. Arms are stretching away from the toes, over the head, and gently fishtail from side to side. After wiggling from side to side a little bit, I like to bend the knees and just rest here. You can also bend the elbows again and just pause. Beautiful. So we prepare the landing gear before coming out instead of just bopping out. So it's a whole rebirthing process. So sometimes it's good to hit snooze. Just give yourself another 9 minutes. Another 9 seconds of relaxation. The womb feels so good. We don't necessarily want to re-enter. And then from this place, we keep our eyes closed and we hold on to the sides of the swing. We raise our arms towards the sky and help ourselves up. So stay seated. See if you can pause with your hands on your lap. Your feet should probably touch down now. If they don't, it's okay. And then from here, as you guys have seen, I typically send some sort of prayer or intention for the practice, hands, heart. See if there's anything that can be sealed into the soul matrix. I usually have them harness these qualities and aspects into the cells. Let these gifts that we've gained emanate out from the heart space and reverberate out to everyone we come in contact with. Hold ourselves up, so inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky, hold on to the sides of the swing. Usually it's a good idea to open the eyes now and be receptive to the light. And we all anchor in, root down. And keep wrapped around the swing. It's kind of nice because there can be like a little like, ooh, right? So one more prayer. I end differently each time, but this is a nice general flow that feels really good to me. So then I usually extend this prayer and intention out to the room, having gratitude for one another, remembering that the divine in each one of us is a reflection of our own inner soul. And having love, gratitude, and appreciation for this place, this space, this time. And then reaching it down, so now forward fold, elbows slide in, hooking with the elbow crease. Straighten your arms, release the swing. So this is a deeper level of anchoring. We now feel the weight of the body. We now feel the pull towards the crystalline core and the magnetic attraction to the center of our belonging on the earth. And the earth welcomes us, and we can just naturally come and fold on down to child's pose. And have our gratitude and praise for the Divine Mother that's nurturing and nourishing us with the land, the trees, with the animals, with the insects. All of life is interconnected through this neural network. You take your time here, see if there's anything left that wants to be released, send it in to the center of the earth to be recycled and renewed and returned to you in its highest vibratory state. This composting process, the earth knows exactly what to do with it and how how to return it to you, to serve your intentions. Feel the truth of your being, that everything is asked for, is given and received in the highest and best way. Notice the changes and shifts in the body. Take inventory. Notice the new relationship to gravity, the relationship to the earth, the relationship to the swing. Just notice, full awareness, full presence. Since the body has been adjusting and recalibrating and detoxing, just feel like you can dump those energies out through your navel. Just send a little grounding cord, like an umbilical cord, from your belly down into the earth. Open up this portal and release the buildup that has been collecting in the organs. Purify the bloodstream. Feel like you can oxygenate the body with the breath even more deeply, and then exhale out through the navel. Feel that grounding cord plug into the crystalline core, and then let this dancing golden light spiral back up through the body, and it'll completely revitalize and rejuvenate the organs, glands, and functions of the body. The systems are all being super boosted. So we can open up these portals and quickly release and quickly cleanse and quickly rejuvenate. Making the practice that much sweeter and that much easier on the body. And then when you're ready, anchor down, and from that rooting down, we're rising up. The spine becomes long. In a comfortable seated position will naturally arise, either on your heels or sitting cross-legged. And welcome in the newness, welcome in this feeling of being refreshed, revitalized. So nice to slow down. You could have an entire hour-long class of just rejuvenation practices, of just restorative, right? People love that stuff, particularly a nighttime class. When they just get off work and they just need to drop in, they need to release and let go. People still work in Maui, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about a sweet work.
Maybe not the same hours, but yeah. So yeah, so just consider that as an inspiration of how you would like to move through. I wanted to show you guys shoulder stand, separate from the restorative. So sometimes I'll start a class in cocoon. You've probably noticed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to show you, I'm going to face away so you can see when I'm upside down. So I'm going to show you, if we start out in cocoon, demonstrating how to come into relaxation. There's a few different poses that we can do from here that would be kind of a little bit more advanced. So if I let my head blossom, right, I'm going to keep the top of my shoulders in there. I'm going to pull, so I'm going to let my legs come wide. I'm going to pull around and then wrap and keep my feet in front and then bring my hands to prayer and push forward. So it's a shoulder stand with this swing wrapped around the tops, and it feels really good. It doesn't feel good if it's on the neck. It feels good if it's on the shoulders. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So you have to kind of like come out, get it into the sweet spot, and the hands in prayer is really important. So this is, I don't want to hold on, I'm going to come here. And then of course we can come into the full inversion from here too. I don't like it over my bum personally. The parachute swings are like that. I usually will just bunch it up. I like it around my hips, but that's a nice easy way to come into the inversion in cocoon as well. If you guys want to practice coming into a shoulder stand, give it a try. And then maybe practice one inversion from shoulder stand. You can put yourself fast.